All right. Well, my name's Jan Herke. I'm the current Director of Parks and Recreation. I've been with the city 22 years, and with us here today is Rick Boals. And Rick, you were the first Park and Rec Director in Urbandale, and one person started the whole department. So,
yeah, that was quite an experience. I started in February 1974. We had two employees. There was two employees, and at the time there was Lions Park, Murphy Park, South Karen Acres Park, Ferguson Park, and Northview Park. Northview Park was split into two. There was Northview North and Northview South. Okay. It was split by the interstate.
Yeah. And so how did you get to be the Park and Rec Director? How did you get involved with the city of Urbandale?
Well, we were a pretty small town. Mm-hmm. In fact, very small town. As a matter of fact, Douglas was the only paved street, and it was 2-lane. And I think it stopped paving. I'm not sure exactly where it ended. It ended going west. 70th Street, maybe 72nd Street. That's it. Everything else was.
What you were involved with before? What labor did you do before you became involved with Parks and Rec?
I was in construction, and at the time, the park board was a 3-member board, independent from city government. I mean, it was part of city government, but they had their own budget. The park board, they administered their own budget, and they didn't. I mean, it really wasn't a part of the city operation at that time.
So the city funded that budget, but then they.
Correct, but the park board, managed it. Yes, and being in construction, I was doing. I built a bridge at South Karen Acres Park, a bridge that goes over the creek. I can't remember if it's been replaced or something now, but I built a bridge over there, and I don't know, one thing led to another, and the chairman of the park board asked me if I wanted a full-time job, and that was it.
That started it.
Yeah. My first office was at Ferguson Park. Now, Ferguson Park at the time was 11-acre parcel. First was Ferguson Park, and the city bought the ground from the Ferguson family. I can't remember the gentleman's first name, but I did go to school with one of the children, or one of the boys, was David Ferguson. I went to school with him. And his dad was a bridge builder. So behind that old shelter house was an old concrete block building with half a dirt floor and half a concrete floor, and that was our shop. That's where we worked out of.
Wow.
And at the time, I'll never forget, walked in there, they had a 36-inch Club Cadet and a flail mower on a tractor, a pickup truck, and an old Dodge dump truck. That was it. That was it. That was the department.
And
that was
take care of all the parks that we have.
That was it.
3 guys, you and 2 other park laborers.
Well, it actually fits in. It's part of the Park and Recreation open space program and plan. And the neighborhood parks was developed as a part of that. And the concept was, for the neighborhood park, if you would put a park here, that within a 1/4-mile radius of there is a neighborhood park. It's designed so if your child wanted to run down to the neighborhood park and play, they're within shouting distance.
Okay.
And they're within distance to come home, and if they need something to eat or whatever, that was the concept of the neighborhood park plan.
So it's more, instead of larger parks that are farther apart. And I remember when I first started working in Urbandale, you said you can put a dot anywhere in Urbandale, and the goal is within a 1/4 mile or a 1/2 mile, you will bump into another neighborhood park.
Correct. Or a bike trail or something like that. And of course, the larger parks are that's for big population of people.
Yep.
But the neighborhood
Regional
parks
draw.
were exactly that, designed for the neighborhood.
And I've learned in my 22 years here, there's pros and cons to that. Most of them pros, because neighbors can send their kids there. There's no restrooms and no parking lots.
Correct.
So, I've been asked that over the years of why aren't there? And it's like, if it's a 2 to 4 acre park, the goal is that you can walk down there with your family and walk back home if you need to.
We always had very good backing by the council, the commission, and you know as well as I do, you can't do this job without the backing of those
Yep.
people
The
and those
decision
people
makers.
and the decision makers. Correct.
And that's where I think it's still from when I first started, and when it sounds like when you first started to now, quality of life is a top priority for the community. And certainly public safety is a priority, but it's always been exciting for me of that continued support and as we plan. So if you had to pick one thing that really stands out to you about Urbandale's history, or one of the biggest events that happened that shaped how Urbandale is today, what would you say that is?
I remember people like Wayne Robbins, the Avos, Ralph Whitten. I think it's more the people than it is a specific event, because it seemed like whenever something needed to be done here, a special thing in Urbandale, something needed special to be done, it got done. I mean, it was the people.
Again, thank you for your time coming in.
Thank you.
And we appreciate all that you've done for Parks and Recreation, and started with one man and it's developed into what it is today.
I enjoyed every minute of it.
What a legacy that you have in Urbandale.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rick.